My presentation is on the emotional effects of war on soldiers. Let me ask you a question here. Who in here currently serving or have served in the military? Okay, branches, Army, Marines, Navy, Air Force, and Coast Guards. Yep. Okay, so thank you all for you guys' services as well as myself. I served 8 years in the Army as an infantryman. So, yeah. And then this is also based on stories about our brave men and women of the United States of America. Okay. So, my thesis statement, there are 2 of them. Due to the amount and times of deployment, soldiers come back as a different person. That is true, right? Okay. So we all go as normal. When we go to basic training or wherever we're shipped off to, as soon as we get the training from the instructors, of course our first 3 weeks is hell weeks. I don't know about the different branches, but I'm pretty sure they're the same or some maybe a little different. In pertaining to the area and location, soldiers would be missed a lot, or missing a lot. Might be a little too loud. Yeah. Alright, here we go. So, the 3 topics that are going to be covered: soldiers are in sincere service of the nation. Does war affect their state of mind? And how does war affect their emotions? Okay. Ooh, that reminds me of me right there. Alright, soldiers are in sincere service of the nation. He or she ever find peace here on this earth before death's fingers encircle his throat, or will peace remain just beyond his or her guard, abandoning him or her eternally on a land remote? By Nancy L. Mink in the poem The Sacrifice. And that's what we do, yeah, we sacrifice. Okay. So, does war affect their state of mind? Yes, they do? Yeah. Okay. There are 10 things that occur, which are: the poet describes the state of mind as of a soldier on returning from war. War is a manifestation of death and destruction. It is an exhibit of all the negatives of life. A war is the result of lack of peace and ends in leaving no one happy. Wars deeply impact all the nations involved in it. Okay. Continuation of does war affect their state of mind? 6. They affect the nation's economy and the life of its citizens. If a war can severely impact the countries at war, it surely has a great impact on those who are on the forefront during the times of war. It is sure to severely affect the true warriors, the soldiers who stake their lives to guard their motherland. Wars not only affect the soldiers' life, but also result in serious emotional effects on the soldiers of war. War stirs their emotions, they affect their lives and impact their states of mind. General Captain. Alright, so how do wars affect their emotions? Does anybody want to take a guess besides looking at the slides? Have you guys been through emotions? Have you guys ever been overseas? Yes. No? I haven't been abroad. Okay. We overseas like with the Navy or something and all. Okay. Okay, so there are 19 things that occurred that I did. The soldiers have physically hurt to or killed the enemy. Circumstances forced them to end someone's life. I was trained to do that, especially in the infantry. This act of their brings them deep sorrow. The soldiers face their enemy that they are supposed to destroy and hostile forces. Witnessing death becomes an almost everyday incident for soldiers at war. Okay, they have to bear the grief of the suffering and death of their fellow mates as well, or brothers and sisters at arms. Such situations definitely have a depressing effect on soldiers. Death is bound to disturb the soldiers and deprive them of peace of mind. They are away from their home and families. The soldiers often feel like reaching out to their near ones and sharing their grief with them, but their duty towards their nation deprives them of these opportunities. Okay. So there is certainty that they will return home when they want. They are unsure about whether they will be able to be with their families when the families need them, especially the most. The debts the family face, the sufferings they closely witness add to their emotional crisis. Emotional struggle results in severe mental stress. As you can see a picture of the brain, you know? There's also parts where it affects a veteran's worst wounds may be the ones you can't see. It's all in here. Mm-hmm. Okay, the undulating emotion that the soldiers have to go through result in great mental strain, and soldiers suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, or also known as PTSD. Okay, these are the branches as well, and all the branches I've named. The post-traumatic stress disorder is characterized by symptoms like nightmares, feelings of detachment, irritability, sleepiness, especially like sleep apnea, and difficulties in concentrating. Their homesickness can lead to intense feelings of solitude. Their trauma brings them mental insecurity. The violence, the injuries, and the heavy destruction result in distress. Okay. So in conclusion, while researching the internet and writing about the topic of the emotional effects of war on soldiers, it was very good to do because of the relationship to this and what has been talked about. The two thesis statements again are, one, due to the amount of times of deployment, soldiers come back as a different person, which is true. And two, in pertaining to the area and location, soldiers would be missing a lot or missed a lot. Both of these have been talked about in the best as could be recalled. The emotional effects of war on soldiers are consistent with mainly PTSD. It is also how soldiers look at things due to what has been done while being overseas. Also, as to dealing with these actions is a major issue for those dealing with what is currently needed to be addressed. Lastly, everyone is different in their own way, so overall, it is all up to them on how to cope with those particular issues.